Hi, my name's Struan. Welcome to another short review roundup on Flying Wiener. Cue the music. I'm really so happy I'm doing this series. I should have started a lot sooner. I enjoy it quite a lot, and I'm so happy that it gives me the chance to talk about a lot more than just one film per week whenever I do get round to making one of these. So I hope you enjoy them as well. I think it's great I get to cover more stuff because there just are so many things out there that I watch and I do want to talk about. Speaking of, today we have got 2 TV shows and 1 film, and if you want to skip ahead to any of them, you can use the timestamps down below, either in the bar or in the about section. There should be timestamps there as well. You can jump ahead if you want to, but in order of how I'll be talking about them, we first have Mr. Robot, which is a TV show starring Rami Malek. Then I have Turning Red, which is the newest Disney Pixar film, came out just a while ago on Disney+. And the last thing I'm talking about is Tiger King, which is a Netflix show. If you haven't heard about it, you probably have. But I recently watched the 2nd series and the Doc Antle story, which is sort of an adjacent show, I'll call it, that they put in addition to it. And I just wanted to talk about that briefly as well. First and foremost, I want to talk about Mr. Robot. I feel it deserves the top spot in that sense. I just recently watched it here in Austria. It's available through Amazon Prime, and I have been wanting to watch it for a long time. I have known about it. I just had no clue what the show was about. I just know that ever since Rami Malek appeared on my radar, I wanted to check out Mr. Robot. So I did. It's got 4 seasons. I watched all of them, and very, very importantly, I need to tell you, don't make my mistake. I watched it while I was doing something, so typically while I was editing videos or doing other stuff, working away on the computer. I watched it while I was doing that. That was definitely the wrong decision, so I will at some point definitely watch it again, because once you're at the end of it, you know, it's one of these shows where you watch it again and it'll just give you a wholly different perspective on it. So I'll definitely be doing that, but like I say, when you watch this show, pay attention to it, because it seems very simple from the beginning, but it gets really, really complicated very fast, and if you're not paying attention, there's so much you will miss. It is fabulous. Generally speaking, it's about a hacker, right? So Rami Malek, he plays a hacker, sort of social justice hacker. I'll call him a Robin Hood of the hacking world. Maybe you could say that as well. So he tries to fight bad guys through hacking, and it eventually grows bigger and bigger, where he takes on a huge company called E Corp, and the E is short for Evil Corp. You know, it's very on the nose. But that sounds like a very simple premise, but it really develops from there. It goes in directions you did not expect, particularly as the seasons go on. It gets really complicated, but in a good way. So the story, while it seems very basic, you know, that is so layered. There's so much going on. And besides Rami Malek, you've got so many great portrayals in this whole show. One of them I do also want to mention is Christian Slater. Haven't seen him in ages, so I was so happy that he got such a prominent role in this. He's excellent. He plays the titled Mr. Robot. He leads this hacking group, and they come into contact with Rami Malek's character, and the show develops from there. Now, you don't really need to be into computers and hacking and all that thing. So, I mean, yes, of course, they throw all sorts of terms about, but, you know, you don't need to understand them to really get what the show is about. I feel you can enjoy it anyway. It's very tense at times. It's got wonderful character moments. There's a lot about the characters actually going on. So the hacking, over time, it sort of, you know, it is very prominent in some episodes, but it does keep its distance and stay in the background quite often when we explore all sorts of things about the characters. Apart from that, the show has got incredible music. So the music is so well placed. The person who made it, thought of it, Sam Esmail, he really is very creative. The episodes as well, so you've got things where you've got an episode where people just don't talk, you know, and you've got various things, so he tries out a lot of things, and the episodes feel very different, and it all comes together very naturally though. And the music selection really is just great. So if you want an interesting show that really gets your head going, that's got incredible characters and amazing acting, Mr. Robot is definitely a show for you. But like I say, pay a lot of attention to it, because you will suffer, as I did, if you don't. Moving on to Turning Red, it's the newest Disney Pixar film after the last one, which I also already talked about on the channel, which was Luca. And Because I also talked about Encanto recently, which is the most recent Disney film, I just prefer the Pixar films. To me, they just feel more human. I don't know, they just feel more relevant, they seem more relatable to me, to be perfectly honest. And I also like that we don't have so much singing in them. I'll be honest, you know, after being told so long to not talk about Bruno, you know, it says you just want some freedom in your life. So, Turning Red, what is it about? It's a rather funny, crazy story. It's about a teenage girl in Canada, and weirdly, we're in the 90s, around 2000, you know, so that's where we are. So we're sort of the mid to late 90s, that's where we are at. And it's obviously a very personal story by the person who made it and thought of it and came up with the idea at Pixar. So I mean, I get it. It just feels very weird until you realise, okay, we're in the 90s. I would like to think what children, you know, who are around 10 or 12, whatever, what they think of this film, you know, seeing all these strange throwbacks, etc. I mean, for them, they won't be relatable. So it is very much a film for people in their 30s, I feel, you know, like myself, because I just recognise quite a lot about it. But the film is about this teenage girl and her group of girlfriends, or 4 I think of them, and you know, they just have typical teenager problems. Our main character, she's got a lot of problems with her mother, you know, she's trying to control her life. They're Asian, and we've got this cliche where, you know, she has to be a certain way and the mother's really, you know, controlling everything that she does, and so she's trying to break free from that. The interesting aspect here comes that seemingly their family, they've got this particular gene that is in all the female members of the family, where if they're not able to control their emotions, they turn into a red panda, and a quite big one as well. And so this is a funny aspect that comes in. I really like that. And I just think the story is great. I'll be perfectly honest, I've got a nearly 2-year-old girl, and this film actually might sound silly, but it's the truth. It made me realise, you know, a lot of things that I might expect will come for me in the future, you know, things that I will have to consider what she's going through, etc. So I really like that. I felt it was a very eye-opening experience for me. I really enjoyed it. You've got great chemistry between the girl group. I really like that as well. So it was a lot of fun, basically, the whole film. And besides that, you need to mention the animation. I was really completely flabbergasted. You see the individual hairs and everything, and the quality of it, it's amazing. You know, you see hats and scarves, and it looks so real. It's so crazy how good computer graphics are nowadays. There's a lot of controversy about this film. Basically, I think you can boil it down to conservatives really didn't like it because it was so outgoing, etc. I felt it was fine. Like I say, it was a good fun ride, and you know, it's teenage girls, obviously they're going to get up to all sorts of craziness, so very fun film. I definitely recommend it. Unfortunately, I think it's only on Disney Plus, so you will need that to watch it. I think it wasn't even released in cinemas, weirdly. I feel that's a bit of a wrong step for Disney, because I'm sure they would have made a lot of money with this. And the last thing we're talking about is Tiger King. You will probably have heard of Joe Exotic and all these other weird and wonderful characters in America. Private people basically making their own zoos with tigers and lions and all sorts of exotic animals. Completely crazy. If you haven't seen it by now, there's 2 series out, although the second one is very different. I will mention that. First I thought that, you know, they're just milking it for what it's worth. It tries to go in a bit of a different direction. I do applaud that, because it is interesting. It shows us other things. It's also not, you know, stretched too long, you know, to make it uninteresting or something, or boring. So I feel that it's very good. If you want to see real craziness, you should watch this, because especially the first season of it, you know, with each passing episode, it just gets crazy. It was funny. I was watching it with my wife. I had seen the first one before, rewatched it with her. We were doing a jigsaw while watching it. She couldn't do the jigsaw, you know, she couldn't get her eyes off the screen. Joe Exotic is a truly mesmerising character, and the whole gang of people in this, you know, there's what a bunch. So besides that, they've also got the Doc Antle story. Here's someone who pops up in the Tiger King series, but they decided to give him his own 3-part thing, you know, in addition to his short appearances in Tiger King. And it shows his story, again, another really, really weird, messed up character, you know, very, very strange people live in this world and have private zoos, you know, and I would suppose that it needs a certain person, you know, it attracts a certain kind of people to do these kind of things. But it's really crazy. So all in all, while it is highly entertaining, It is also very disturbing if you're an animal lover. I will say that straight away. It's really not nice to see what these people are doing. Frankly, they all belong behind bars and they should have all these zoos taken away from them. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that they won't just exist in America, they will exist all over the world. And that is definitely something that's not good. But we are here for entertainment's sake, and like I say, if you're looking for entertainment that is sort of in the reality TV sphere, I don't think you can go much better than Tiger King on Netflix. That'll be all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this roundup. Very varied things. I hope that is also to your liking. You know, trying to cover many aspects depending on who you're watching. If you're with kids, watch Turning Red. If you are not with kids, watch Tiger King. If you're more into reality TV, if you want something that really shows us incredible characters, emotions, tense things, etc., drama, then watch Mr. Robot. Particularly if you're a Rami Malek fan or Christian Slater, you really need to watch it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It is the best way to support this channel. Leave a comment down below about any of these film or TV shows. And if you have any other suggestions, please put them down there as well. I'll thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video on Flying Wiener. Take care.